to start with, like, tell us, let's start with you. You are our Python professor, and I've not like got a lot of chance to interact with you, but yeah, I think I've interacted with you on various opportunities that I got, like the fellowship proposal and everything. I think we'll come to that, and we'll tell everyone what the fellowship proposal was about and what it was about. But tell us, like, what is data science to you? You know, you being a Python expert, what do you think? What is data science to you?
Maybe I can refer to the CRISP-DM methodology, which is cross industry standard processing for data mining, and I could explain what is data science using this paradigm. Okay, you have the data which is accessible, and now the data, you have a tremendous amount of data, either within the company or either outside of the company, because they can buy data from provider, brokers, and they can also find data that are available on open source, open data. And then what is data science? There is different steps that are described in the CRISP-DM methodology. The first step is business understanding and data understanding. You need to understand what are the data and how the data interact with the business and so on. So there is a first loop between the business and the data here. And then you have the second part, which is data preparation and the modeling. And so you are doing some back and forth between the data preparation, and because you prepare the data for a kind of model, and if you choose the model, you need to prepare maybe differently the data and so on. And at the end of this process, you have the evaluation, where you evaluate what the model brings to the business. So you have the evaluation of the model performed by the business. And when this loop has been done, you have then the deployment, which is because you have many data science projects that are just keep in a shell, but not put in production. And of course, the aim of any data science project is to be put in production, and you have the deployment phase, which is not so easy because you need to refresh the model, to have the data refreshed, and so on. So
I've seen a lot of times, like, since you develop the assignments that we have, which
yes.
makes the program even more interesting than it already is. So I really wanted to know, like, I was curious to know how they are different, like, than other schools, because the coders that the developer friends that I have, for them, coding is like, you know, whenever they have a problem, their first approach is go search it on Google and you'll find the answer. And when it comes to our assignments, none of the answers are available on Google. So I really wanted to know how you design them and what is your thought process behind it.
Okay, very good question, because it's a deep question, and I was never asked about this question before on this course in emlyon. In fact, the course, the first course is named Python Coding Bootcamp, but you are not intended to learn to code in Python. You are intended to learn to do some data science. So I decide for the course, I decide not to use the algorithm that you can do by yourself using Python. It is everything is made around the pandas library, because which is a subset of what we can do with Python. So the first thing. And so for the assignments, in fact, you had 6 or 7 assignments, but in fact you have four real assignments. You have the first one, which deals with the Python basics, so the different types on the different data structures. Okay, and then you have 3 more related to data science assignments. You have the one with Facebook, on the one with the Olympic Games, and the last one, the one with the French names. So the assignment with Facebook is intended to teach you how to deal with one-dimension data, because the Facebook dataset has different columns with numbers only, and the idea is to be able to compute some insights about the different columns. So we are only managing one-dimensional data. Another interesting point with this Facebook dataset is you have the birth dates of people. Of course, it's a pseudo Facebook, it's a pseudo dataset. And you can find, at the end, you have some insights about the fact that people doesn't give their real birth date. And for instance, the January month and the 1st of month, it's much more present than the other day or months of the year. And I have already see that in real data set in an insurance company. So it's I thought it was quite interesting. On the second data set for the assignment is about the Olympic game. And here we take the full power of pandas. So where they are going to, you have to do some selection and also some reshaping method like crosstab, pivot table, and so on. And so you are starting to use the full power of Panda about computing some insight about the data set. And you have also to do something with the first name of the athletes that are listed in the Olympic data set. And so it is the start of doing some text mining technique, even if it was quite simple. And the last data set is about the French name data set. The fact is that the red line in the course was we were working with the US data set with the US names, and this assignment performed exactly the same with the French names. So it is an echo of what has been done in the course. And here the idea is to learn how to load and to prepare the data, because you cannot here the idea of this exercise, this assignment, is you conform the French data set so that it looks exactly as the US one. And once it has been done, everything that we have been able to do with the US data set, you can do it at once with the French one, because it has exactly the same columns, the same values, the kind of values, and so on. So with all these assignments, you covered, my opinion is that you covered everything. You know now how to load a data set, you know how to compute some insight on different columns, and you know how to perform some data management and some reshaping method, and so on. Of course, it is the first step, and then on the second semester, we have data science and text mining for marketing analytics, which will be more advanced tools and about data science in this field. Does it answer to your question?
Yes, perfectly. What would you like to tell us about any hacks that you know about and you would want other students to know about?
The other beyond Python, machine learning, and MySQL,
yes.
You have that. For instance, you have data visualization techniques are important, and also dashboarding, and also web design, because everything needs to be also on the web. But my advice will be that you need to practice. So you need to find some data set on the web. You have a lot of data set available thanks to open data, and you need to learn how to load the data set, to examine the different value of the data, to do maybe some data quality assessment, and then to do some stats and compute some KPI and so on. So it's my opinion would be you need to practice a lot on the different fields there are.
So practice makes man perfect, as
yes. You need to understand that data science is a tool, and so you need to practice those tools. Of course, you need to fix some goals and then to practice the tools in order to be able to fulfill the goals.
So now, like, since I've already interacted with you on the fellowship proposal, like, let's tell everyone what the fellowship proposal and fellowship is actually about. I think we should start by introducing the AIM Research Center, and not a lot of students will know that, like, before joining emLyon, they might not know about the AIM Research Center, and I think it will be very valuable for them to understand about it, and even before entering, so that they can approach you and you can guide them about the project.
Sure, thanks, Priyanka. So the Research Center on Artificial Intelligence in Value Creation is a different initiative compared to the Master of Science, because it's more related to the research side. But as the professors that are involved also in the Research Center, some of them contribute also to the Master of Science, we decided to create a bridge, also because the research creates also the input for the pedagogy and for the courses. So we created this bridge. And the Research Center at emLyon focuses on develop research on how artificial intelligence is implemented in management. So doesn't look at the technicalities, so the technical part of what maybe you are learning from Francis, so the visualization, the data, but how these tools of artificial intelligence are applied in the management processes, not only marketing, but it's a multidisciplinary approach, because we look at also the design, management, supply chain, so the impact of AI system in management. And we try to reflect, open the research on the impact on customer engagement, employees engagement, or maybe efficiency in the supply chain, or impact on marketing. But in particular, we opened only to the students of the Master of Science in Digital Marketing Data Science, the call for fellowship. That is exactly what you're asking. Call for fellowship allows students to submit proposal, and every year we open up to 2 positions for the best projects. And these projects could be, they have been in the past a master dissertation, so a researcher finalized to develop a master dissertation that may be touching a topic that could be of interest for the research center. And last year, for example, 2 students proposed a podcast series, which was super excellent. And this year, other 2 students decided to go on with this podcast series. And we accepted as the 2 winners this project, the podcast series, and another project, which is a master dissertation. But the goal of the fellowship is to open up the students the possibility to contribute with research of activities related to the mission of the research center, and at the same time to benefit, maybe because the students selected are part of the research center. They appear on our website. There is a picture. They can also benefit from maybe supervision or interaction with experts. But of course, this is symbolic, because at the end, all the students of the Master of Science DMDS can benefit from the activities that the research center is developing and the seminar series that are in process.
That's I think very interesting, and that's definitely something each of us should like use to the best of their opportunity, because they'll get a chance to learn from really significant people who've contributed a lot in the field. Yes, definitely. And would you also want to tell us how, like, something about the ambassador program, since you spoke about the podcast?
So the ambassador program is another initiative that is led by the school. So in general, each program has some ambassador. The ambassador that could be, I don't know exactly the number, there could be 4 or 5, are selected among the students who candidate themselves inside the program. And their goal is to promote the program. So the ambassadors are involved by the school in initiatives and events, maybe to represent the program and to give also, oh, there is maybe some question from, oh, there are some.
No,
okay.
no, not really.
Okay. Okay, and the ambassador have to represent in general the program and maybe to answer the question. For example, we recently had a presentation of the program at Campus Channel in last week with Clement Levallois, and one of the students selected as ambassador joined us, and he was live on the television, and so he could show his experience, share his experience with the prospect. So the goal of the ambassador is really to be in touch with the prospect, maybe answer questions that the students would not ask to the program director, because to know all the difficulties that maybe the program can have.
Perfect. And we also have the delegates, right? That's
yeah.
Which is like totally based on the preferences of the students.
Yes, the delegates is again another thing. So we have seen that the fellow is a program. So you can submit your candidature and submit your proposal. It's more research focused for the research center. The ambassador are 4 or 5 students selected among those who are interested in being this, that represent the program outside. But then each program has also 2 delegates. So the delegates, we have, their role is very critical, very important, because they represent the link between the students and the program director and also the professor for each course, because their role is to help us to understand better how we can improve the learning experience of the students. And so we solicit them not to tell us the bad things or the good things at the end of the course, but their role is to give an alert, to give an input during the progress of each course. So maybe it's possible to intervene and maybe to fix something that is not going well because the students have some difficulties. So the role of the delegates is very critical, because they could be the interface between the students and the program director to improve the learning experience. That is the goal.
Very interesting. So I think we will meet one of the delegates in the later part of the day, and Claire, and we're going to go on a tour to Paris later. In the meantime, like, are there any suggestions that you would want to give, like, students like me, like in the sense, before I came to emlyon, like, it is a very prestigious school for sure, but the fees and everything, like, I was very financially weak, and I've literally got a scholarship based on which I was able to make it to emlyon. So do you have any suggestions for such kind of students?
Yeah, so the fee and the bourses, the scholarship are managed by the recruitment office, I would say this. So we are not free to define the rules. I can only share some information that I may have. The school offers some scholarship, and there are different scholarships. So there is the scholarship Early Bird. So for the students who register first, in this session that is still open, I think that those who apply now, they have this possibility to have this scholarship. But then based on a specific situation, so maybe if there are some economical, hello Clement, some economical problem, it's possible to ask and to provide also support and to provide also justification, and the school may allow also an additional scholarship for this.
Yes.
That could help if there is a specific financial situation.
So now, thank you so much for that. I'm sure a lot of students will profit from that. So now, since Clement is also here, maybe we can hear the interesting story behind how you guys came up with the DMDS program.
We were waiting for you, Clement, to start this story.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't have the best mic. My microphone is. Can you still hear me well?
Yes.
Very well.
Good. Well, we have a long story. I'm very happy to tell it. The story starts at Programme Grande École, actually, where I would say in 2015, Margherita and myself were introducing courses in digital marketing and data science. So Margherita, I would say, did that pretty much by herself, but also with colleagues Monica Grosso and François Chède. And on my side, I had the pleasure to recruit specialists in data science, such as Jean Savignin, Doré Damar, 𝐸𝐬𝐬𝐬, and that continued. And we gained a lot of experience in the teaching of data science and digital marketing to business students. Actually, that was really the biggest hurdle, was how to convince business students that the topic was relevant for them. Because you have a lot of preconceived ideas on what should a proper business education be. And with Margherita, we were pretty much rocking and moving the lines on that.
Yeah, and there is also an addition that I would add, how we started really the thing. It was because some students from emlyon in 2013 and 14 went in exchange to Bocconi in Milano. And so they attended the course e-commerce and digital marketing. And you know, when you make an exchange, when you go back, you have to ask the conversion. And at emlyon, there was not a digital marketing course. So that's why the school asked one colleague with François Chède to open a course in French and in English. And so he had to start to manage so many courses in digital marketing, even if it's not completely his focus. And they opened the recruitment, and that's why how I am there. So when he read also my CV, he said he's the same person teaching the course in Bocconi.
So I didn't know that, Margherita. That's just before I came.
A very, very original start. And so when I arrived, it's true, there was a digital marketing course in French, and they needed someone managing the English one. But then they asked to launch a course in MBA. Then we started together with Clement PFA, something, and we launched some courses, e-commerce, e-tailing, so specific courses created ad hoc since the beginning.
And then the school thought that it would make complete sense to not just have a track or a specialization or a bundle of courses in Programme Grande École, but to have a full master's degree in digital marketing and data science. Hervé Gaziglia was the head of master's program at the time, and it should really be to his credit that he had this idea.
I think the idea came before to Philippe Monin, I think, our academic dean at that time, because I had finished the HTR and I didn't want to do research. I was in a peak of...
Oh, you were in a research breakdown.
research breakdown, and he said, oh, it would be nice to launch a master. Okay, I said, oh, a master, give a look at the master innovation, other master, how they are structured. And then em𝐥𝐲𝐬𝐬, the director of the Master of Science, called Clement and me to start talking around the master, and we started working on the Master of Science. But at that time I was very engaged in this because it was something new that I was not doing before, and I liked a lot to create this master with Clement.
Yeah, we had a blank page, and we could really, without any constraint, except the constraints from Conférence des Grandes Écoles, of course, but we could really design a pedagogical structure that was the best for the students, for the job market, without any pre-constraints. So we asked a lot for advice around this, of course, to the companies, to the colleagues, and that was pretty much a success right from the start. We were planning to launch for a 30 students cohort, which is quite good for a newborn master's degree, but we had so many applicants that we pushed to 60 students right from the beginning. And as Priyanka, as you are very much an example of that, from an international diversity and backgrounds. So that was pretty much right as we are today, but I mean, it started as a good story right from the start.
Yeah, I think having like people from 37 nationalities is like one of the many unique things of DMDS. When I started my search for, actually, if I talk about it, like I never really thought about pursuing higher education, but I was searching something one day and I just came across this program and I was like, okay, this is the thing I want to do. And then that is when I actually started looking up for programs. And I think this was the only university and this was the only program which had the right blend of management and engineering, because I didn't really want to do too much technical, or I didn't really want to do too much management. But yeah, so I literally knew that, okay.
And Priyanka, I have a tricky question for you. Which other program were in your short list?
There was system integration, and there was one with digital marketing and big data. I think there is a university in Paris which offers it, but it's not very reputed. So I was a little dicey about going there. And yeah, and there was no other program that had like a mix. No other university in any country. Like I checked UK, I checked Ireland, nothing.
That's what we have. I mean, we can't pretend we have an exhaustive benchmark, but from what we have searched, digital marketing times coding and programming and data analytics and data science, we have not found any close program.
Yeah. So what are the job prospects, or what should students expect when they take up DMDS as their preferred program?
I don't know if it's useful that I would share my screen, because I don't know if in the way we broadcast my screen can be seen, but otherwise, sorry?
I'm recording the session and plus I'm live like from my phone. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can do without. Margherita, maybe you want to?
No, please, if you want, please.
Okay, so basically we have a huge diversity of companies where the graduates find an internship and then a job position. So everything, right? The big names would be luxury brands, digital marketing platforms and agencies, consulting, banks, industry services, B2B services, retail, communication and media and advertising. Well, you see, it's really broad. And in contrast to that, to this diversity, we have a very focused type of roles that our graduates apply and get a job about. And this is data analyst. So in many shapes and forms, like marketing data analyst, marketing analyst, sales operations analyst, HR data analyst, and customer, whatever. I mean, but it always revolves around the theme of being a manager with high managerial stakes in terms of cost control or development of sales, but with a capacity to perform data analytics. And that's every type of job our graduates find. But then they can branch out to consulting. Consulting, you might actually help clients do that. But really, what makes a big difference on the job market is marketing, data, and analytics all in one.
Yeah, and also all the companies have a digital marketing function, and so the digital marketing is still there. What the program offers to the students is their capability also to interpret the data, and it is a distinct feature that distinguish this students candidate working in these departments compared to the traditional digital marketing manager. And in fact, I have a direct feedback because some of our students from the first edition applied and started working in L'Oréal, I think, one of these bigger companies, in the digital marketing team, and developed the thesis inside. And there was also the supervisor as a second, so the manager involved in the thesis also as a second supervisor. And she said that she found in these students more capabilities, the capability to visualize data, to interpret data, to identify also the business problem, but with the right data, that maybe since these skills are not present in the traditional manager. So I could say traditional position still open, or in the past and in the present, but with more skills that are highly appreciated by companies. Today, these skills are seen as a plus, but more and more the university, the business school are offering AI courses, and so it becomes mandatory to have these skills. Maybe in the future, more skills are required to distinguish.
Apart from this, like now, this one is for Francis. There are various positions that I always get confused about, and they are data science specific positions, like, for example, data scientist, data engineer, and data analyst. What exactly is the difference between these positions?
Okay, that's a good question. In fact, there is, for today, there is no nomenclature about those positions. And from one company to another, they can call a data scientist, a data engineer, a data engineer, or a data analyst, and so on. My opinion is that if you go back to what is data science, which is from data acquisitions and data preparations, and you have data modeling and so on. I would put in this process, I would put first the data engineer, because it is the person who is close to the database on send, close to the acquisition of data, on the preparation of data. On then you have the data science position, where the person will use some high skills in statistics or machine learning or even deep learning to produce more insights about the data and to enrich the data. At the end of the process, I will put the data analyst, which is close to the business and also is able to produce some insights thanks to data visualization tool and so on. So for me, it's like that. And what about, say, Clement about data analyst? It seems quite coherent, because the data analyst is at the end of the very hard technical process from raw data to insights, and it's close to the business, and it's close to the business and to make some expectation of the data, or to produce some prediction and so on. So for me, it's like that. But of course, it's quite fuzzy, and it's not on the role are not separated. It depends also on the size of the company where you are working. Sometimes I meet some people, and the person tell me, "Oh, I am the only data people in the company, so the only data people in the company perform everything." Conversely, if you are in a big company where you have a lot of roles, you will be more specialized.
That's very interesting. Like before this, now it makes a lot of sense how the positions are different. Before this, like I think, and it is a problem with all the students, we made a mistake of thinking that, okay, maybe not this, but we never understood the difference between the positions. Thank you so much. This made it pretty clear. And now this one is for all three of you. The last question. I know you guys have to go to the other meeting that we have. So if a person wants to learn more, and because growing is about learning out of school as well, not just learning in school, what courses or what programs would you recommend other students to pursue, maybe online or like workshops, anything?
In my view, that could be project driven, actually, because you can take online courses to just augment the variety of skills you can then list on your LinkedIn profile, and that's surely effective. But in terms of motivation and in terms of developing learning by the practice, I think that during the master's degree or towards the end, you might be skilled enough, and actually you might have a good picture of what data science is, so that you can start initiating your own project, which can be very small scale, that can consist simply in creating a website showing off the portfolio of your skills. And when you're gonna have to do that, you will realize the types of skills that you might be lacking. And then you might go and search on, so the usual suspects, right? Coursera, Udemy, Udemy, and the rest, Khan Academy, Data Camp, for free or cheap courses that might help you plug this or that skill in the project you are conducting. The good news is that with the master's degree you follow here, we give you a kind of a stepping stone for each of these skills in visualization, in digital marketing tools, in pure coding in Python. So for all these skills you want to reach, you don't start from the bottom. You already made some progress, so that you have a sense of how you can actually go on the learning path.
Yeah, so there are courses, preliminary courses that the students can attend before joining the program. Then they learn, as Clement was saying, the value add that the courses are offering. And then you can go on, because there are more advanced courses, a certificate where you can practice more. But these are cognitive competencies, cognitive skills, technical skills, cognitive skills. But I would add that the program had some soft skills, that is the capability to work with other culture, to work in teams, to face the difficulties, because there are also resilience this year. That is a strong competency, because the ability to adapt with the change. And also to stay alone sometime, to work alone. So all these skills are soft skills, and they are highly evaluated also by the companies. Sometimes we don't emphasize a lot, because we put on our CV only the cognitive and technical skills that are acquired in the school. But don't forget also this. And I would say one of the most important things of the program is that there are students from different nationalities. This could be also a barrier when you work in a group, because it's not easy to work with a different culture. But we want you to achieve this, so the ability to interact with the other, work with the others.
Okay, and if I can add my contribution, I agree with Clement. We are in the course, we are providing the way to climb the first step of data science, because if we just give you the documentation about Python, R, Excel, or SQL, you won't be able to do anything. You need to be accompanied for the first step. But once it's done, you can do it by yourself. You can go on the web, find a data set, and work on yourself. And my opinion is that the best way to continue is to practice by yourself. And now you have the language, any language it is, the language of data science, and then you have R, SQL, or Python. You can go by yourself, dig by yourself, on practice by yourself without following courses or more.
Priyanka, we are the office hour because Samira is calling us. So Clement and I, we have to leave.
We can leave you with Francis.
Yeah, with Francis. Ecco. Thanks, Francis, for this.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Priyanka.
Bye.
Thank you, Priyanka.
Priyanka? Yes. Maybe.
It's definitely going to help a lot of students who want to, take up more career opportunities into data science.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
And I have also some feedbacks from the students which are following their dissertation.
Yes.
Okay, and they are all the feedback they give me is that when they entered in emlyon Business School, they didn't know anything about coding, and now after 1 year and a half, they are able to do by themselves some data analysis and so on. And that when they look behind them, they see they have acquired real qualification and real skills in processing some data and so on. And that, I think, it's quite important, because they start without any. For most of them, maybe 90% of students that are entering in this master have no coding skills when they enter into master.
Definitely, I think I'm one of them, one of the many students. But, I mean, like I initially spoke about this when we were discussing about the assignment. I had no coding background at all,
Yes.
and my friends, as compared to my friends who are like actually coders, who have been into a lot of technical stuff and who pursued technical stuff as their education, more of coding as their education, as compared to them, I think after the assignments that we've done, I think I can think logically and faster than them. And and every time you give us an assignment, like I literally tell my friends as well to do it, so that even they have practice on the assignments. But I think I'm the fastest person who does it, because now I'm able to think of how you've given us the assignments, and okay, maybe not this, then this will work. So.
Okay, I'm happy to learn about that. It's interesting. Yes, the idea behind everything is that you have a kind of pedagogy. I try to implement a pedagogy in the lessons, where you have some graduation from the start to what we reach at the end of the semester, and you will have the same steps next semester. And also pedagogy in the assignments to try to, and it's not so easy to find the proper data sets where you can ask interesting questions on which are based upon some skills that have been learned in the course. It's a loop, and it's all integrated. Yes. I'm happy that somebody noticed that.
Totally. In fact, I think I think the fellowship proposal that I had shared with you, I am totally going to work on that and try to integrate Python with Excel now. That's like
I think it's a good idea. Great idea. I show you. I tell you that there were indeed already some Python modules like XL Wings and open I don't know the name, XYXL, something like that, or XLXY, I don't remember the name, which already performed some strong interaction between Python and Excel. But my opinion is that it's a very good subject because every company has Excel, every company has data first, second, every company has Excel. And of course, we can imagine that we can do some interesting things, merging the two languages.
Yes.
The Python languages on the Excel tools. And what shows very funny, I see a news that comes last week that they have introduced the lambda function in Excel. So now in Excel, you can, the lambda that we have in Python, you can have it in Excel.
Wow. That is pretty interesting. I'm going to try it, like, maybe I'll go home in the evening and I'll immediately try it.
Exactly.
So it was very informative, and I'm surely going to pick your brains on Excel integration with Python. And I'm sure all the other students have had like a lot of information which is going to help them, even in deciding the particular course they want to pursue or their career path. Thank you so much. It was great having you. I know even you might have meetings.
Thank you for your invitation. I hope that the students will be interested in watching this video with Margherita and Clement as well. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
See you soon. Have a good day and have a good holidays.
Same to you. Bonne journée and
bonne journée.
I don't know how to say that in French.
Au revoir. Bye bye.
Au revoir.